This is the best local sports show in Jacksonville. Action Sports Jax Prime Time.
I have no God-honest control of my golf swing and I don't know where the golf ball is going right now, so I'm trying to get into the house as fast as I can.
This is why we love Billy Horschel. He's going to tell you exactly how he's feeling. He plays with his emotions on his sleeve. Even after a tough round, well, you better believe he'll be signing autographs for the kids. Big heads up for folks making the trip to the stadium course on Sunday. Tee times have been adjusted to try and beat the incoming inclement weather. Golfers will tee off the final round in threesomes off both tees, 1 and 10, between 8 and 10 a.m. We will see if that is early enough with afternoon storms, of course, in the forecast. Welcome into Action Sports Jax Prime Time. We got one more round to play at the stadium course before we crown the latest Players Champion. Hoping our field of golfers can play fast Sunday morning in what will once again be challenging conditions, much like they faced on Saturday in round number 3.
Trying to hit it close to pins, but only when we knew we had like the right club and the right wind to do so. And if not, then we were just gonna, hit it to 30 feet and try to make one. And I did that a couple times, and I think that's the key to playing in really tough conditions, especially around a course like this.
So Swan leads the way at 12 under after saving that par. One shot back, Bud Cauley, more on him in a second. Lucas Glover, Alex Smalley, they're both at 9 under par. Corey Connors finished his round of 66 early in the day. He sits tied with Rory McIlroy and Akshay Bhatia, 4 shots back at 8 under. Back to the guy we've been tracking all week, Bud Cauley, who grew up right here in Jacksonville. Cauley with one of the rounds of the day, shooting 66 on Saturday, including a stretch of 3 straight birdies on 15, 16, and 17, and the chip in eagle you saw at number 9. For the Alabama grad who came to this tournament as a kid, it means a lot to be near the top of the leaderboard.
Definitely the best round I've played around here. I grew up here, lived here for a little while after college, but I couldn't tell you how many times I've played here. Obviously we dream about playing, and I have a lot of great memories of even like shots I was here for. I was here when Tiger made his better than most putt on 17, and watched Freddie chip one in left-handed on 8. So I have some funny memories watching the golf here.
If we've learned anything from this tournament in recent years, a lot can happen over the final 18 holes. And honestly, sometimes just treading water on Saturday and not taking yourself out of the running might be enough to allow you to surge to a win on Sunday. Action Sports Jax Marcel Robinson has more on the chasers, guys that look to come from behind and get the win on Sunday.
Well, moving day certainly lived up to the hype here on Saturday at the Players Championship. If you look at the leaderboard to close the day, looks very different than the way things started, and that's typically the case here at the Players Championship. After all, it is a marathon, not a sprint. Although J.J. Spawn sits at the top of the leaderboard, there were a lot of guys who were able to do some things to keep themselves in the mix as they head into Sunday at the Players Championship.
Get up and down a lot. I got up and down probably the sand pit in the backyard to the garbage can on the side of the house. It was crazy. Some days you're really on, and today just happened to be one of those days with my touch and feel and everything.
Yeah, if you'd told me this morning when I got up I'd shot 1 under today, I'd have taken it and not played. For sure. For sure. Played nice. A couple bad breaks and a couple bad shots, but it's going to happen when it's like this.
Not out of it by any means. I knew JJ was playing well, and I was obviously just keeping a close eye on what he was doing and trying to, stay somewhat in touch with him. But it was just a tough day. It was a tough day to get it close, a tough day to, sort of one of those days. I feel like it was a tough day to make birdies, but if you manage yourself well, you could just make a ton of pars.
As I said, this thing is a marathon and not a sprint. We'll have to see who makes all the right moves and who hits the best shots and walks off 18 green and walks to that clubhouse to hoist the gold championship trophy here at TPC Sawgrass on Sunday afternoon. For now, that's the story here at TPC Sawgrass. Marcel Robinson, Action Sports Jax.
Thank you, Marcel. We have a soft spot for the local guys in this tournament. Over the years, Mark McCumber and David Duvall have been victorious. In recent years, we had a local caddy get the win with Paul Tesori, who we'll hear from later in the show. Local resident Cam Smith. Heck, even Scotty Scheffler has local ties with his grandma living here. How about one more local tie for you? One of the real cool stories this year, Danny Walker rookie on the PGA Tour. He was an alternate coming into the week, gets the call Thursday morning that he's in the field, and then teed off a couple short hours later. Walker, who has lived here in Jacksonville since 2019, not only makes the cut on the number after playing 2 rounds with Jordan Spieth and Wyndham Clark, but goes off first Saturday morning and fires a bogey-free 66 to vault his way up into the top 10. Becoming a Northeast Florida resident was a no-brainer for Walker.
Just wanted to find the best place for me to practice and get better, and this seemed like the place to go, especially with everything being free out here. Playing professional golf early on can be expensive. That was the big draw, just great free practice facilities and a bunch of other pros to play with.
So your local leaderboard will check in on our St. Simons Island residents too. You got Davis Thompson there in a tie for 16th. Will Chandler sitting just outside the top 50. Over the last few days, we spoke about how gettable the stadium course has been, but oh, how quickly things changed when heading into the weekend. Gusty winds proving to be the challenge everyone thought they would be as the leaders took to the course on Saturday afternoon. Action Sports Jack's Olivia Tassley has more on how Mother Nature impacted the game.
Depending on what time golfers teed off today, they either appreciated Mother Nature's timing in order to try and catch up to the leaders, or they just accepted the challenge of playing with 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Yeah, it was tough. It's pretty razor thin around here anyway, and then you add in 25, 30 miles an hour with some gusts. It shrinks things even more.
I mean, it was whipping pretty good most of the day. I don't think it ever really got worse. You know, it's funny, on the front nine, I felt like we were a bit more exposed on some of the greens with the wind. And then on the back nine, a lot of the greens kind of get tucked away a little bit. I don't know if it felt like it got worse, but it was definitely very challenging most of the day.
It's only tougher from here on out. Our First Alert weather team is predicting strong winds paired up with storms, setting up for a sloppy Sunday out on the stadium course.
I guess we get to do it all, all over again tomorrow with the same wind, so looking forward to that.
I think when you're a little further back, you'd rather have some testy conditions, yeah.
The weekend weather could potentially impact the final round of the Players. Over the 51 years of the tournament, there have only been 8 Monday finishes, with the last one taking place in 2022. However, with early tee times and golfers playing in threesomes tomorrow, the tour is still hoping to crown a champion on Sunday. For now, at TPC Sawgrass, I'm Olivia Tassley, Action Sports Jacks.
Thank you, Liv. Windy conditions and an island green surrounded by water. Sounds like a good combination, right? We'll see how the field fared at 17 next on Action Sports Jack's Primetime. And speaking of 17, bet you haven't seen it like this. This is Cosm. It's an immersive sports bar experience in Dallas and LA. Takes you about as close as you can get to sporting events from a theater setting. They installed a special camera in the water at 17 this week, and you can see, well, the views, they're pretty wild.
Hi, this is Annika Sorenstam, and I'm a World Golf Hall of Famer, and you're watching Action Sports Jacks.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jacks 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jacks, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jacks Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjacks.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jacksonville sports, all the time.
This is the best local sports show in Jacksonville. Action Sports Jack's Prime Time.
Slow down the pace of the swing as well as he can. Long swing, but he doesn't increase it with speed. He keeps the tempo down.
So you might have noticed no mention of Justin Thomas up to this point in the show. Well, shoots 11 strokes worse than yesterday's course record tying 62, but he does finish birdie and gets closest to the pin at the 17th. 4 feet, 9 inches. You see this shot right here as Justin Thomas nestles it in close on that back pin position. Interesting thing about that pin position, by the way, they swapped them, the normal Friday and Saturday pin positions, because of the expected wind today. So, PGA Tour taking care of its players. Welcome back to Action Sports Jack's Prime Time. The Island Green, however, did not play nice today. Only 5 birdies on Saturday. And how about this stat? After Bud Cauley rolled in his birdie putt from 15 feet, the rest of the field went 18 over par. That's the final 26 golfers. Remember, that's the part of the leaderboard that's near the top and playing well headed into the day. So That's what happened on Saturday. All in all, 10 water balls on Saturday for the 72 golfers. So quick math, that's about 1 for every 7th guy. Nobody went in twice, and nobody scored worse than a double bogey. So we didn't get any high numbers, at least. 30 overall water balls for the tournament so far this year.
The Smart Play of the Week is brought to you by the FSCJ Manta Rays.
You want a smart play? How about moving to a city that hosts one of the year's biggest golf tournaments every single year? Now that's a smart play. Liam Cohen and the rest of the Jaguars front office enjoying a day away from draft prep to enjoy the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. We try to tell everybody how great it is to live here. Coach Cohen certainly listened. He gets the chance to take a picture there with the trophy. James Gladstone was here. Tony Baselli was here. Of course, Trevor came on Friday. So Jacksonville Jaguars and the players intertwined per usual. Let's take a look at our picks coming into the final round. Only 2 left. My pick, Sepp Straka, 7 under par. Dan's pick, Colin Morikawa, he shot 5 over on Saturday, now sits at 4 under par. One of those 2 will be the best amongst our 5. Of course, Brett and Olivia's picks, that's Matsuyama and Oberg, both of them cut, and Wyndham Clark had to withdraw. So Marcel's pick out of the running as well. One of our favorite traditions of Players Week, ironically, takes place across the street each and every year. Local caddy and 2018 Players champ Paul Tesori and his wife Michelle's Tesori Family Foundation hosting the All-Star Kids Clinic at Sawgrass Country Club earlier this week. We caught up with Paul as the event continues to grow each year.
This is year number 11 that we've done here TPC Week. 11 in a row. We've got 2 good things. That means I've been in 11 of these in a row, which is always good in my profession, but also that we have had a situation where we could still put this on for 11 straight years. It's so popular here, we've had to do 6 in a row now in the fall, just because there's so many kids that we have to turn away, and we never want to turn any of them away. So I've had a bunch of different pros that have done this with me now. I've had Jordan Spieth, Webb Simpson, Bubba Watson, Mark Leishman, and Tom Kim made his first appearance this year. So we've had a little bit of a fun thing with all the players kind of jumping on board as well, and it's been a good way to start the week.
Get the gorilla out, man. That's going to be a popular thing.
It absolutely is. So the whole goal we've always tried to do is how do you introduce these kids to the game of golf but allow them to have fun? And we've got the obstacle course, putting course, and then we have Golfrilla over here. And this is where they all want to be the entire time. They don't want to go do the other things. But anytime you can whack something as hard as you can at a fake Godzilla, which we call Golfrilla, you know that good times are going to be had.
You guys have this where you want it to be. I mean, when you start something like this, you really don't know what it's going to evolve into.
Yes.
It might be too big of an animal at times, right?
So what a great question. You know, when you really look at what we anticipated it being, it's actually outgrown that. We didn't know if we'd be able to get 25 kids to come out and partake. And then our very beginning, what we wanted is when kids age out, so it's kids 8 to 18, what we wanted is when they turn 19, come volunteer. And we have 5 of our past All-Stars that are volunteering today. And the loudest yells you'll hear are from our old All-Stars who are now volunteers, and now they're cheering on the new All-Stars. And so for us, that was our dream, and that's happening now. We're doing a scholarship program now where if kids want to keep playing, maybe go to the Special Olympics, we will come alongside them and we'll pay to have them train and then eventually go to the Special Olympics. So it's been more than we even could have dreamed, obviously so much more now that we have to have a second one in the fall here.
That is awesome to see. Paul Tesori, of course, hosting that each and every year. And as mentioned, the pro players getting behind it as well. Good stuff. Action Sports Jax 24/7, Brent and Austin show. Be sure to catch it every weekday from 10 to 1 o'clock. They'll be back on Monday and certainly talking a lot about the Players Championship and the Jacksonville Jaguars as they do each and every day. Sunday night. And this will be a good Action Sports Jax prime time, especially if you're a big golf fan. We will, of course, recap the final round of the Players' Championship, so be sure to join us on Sunday, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47 for Action Sports Jax Prime Time. As a reminder, if you missed it at the top of the show, tee times have been moved up. So all the tee times will take place between 8 and 10 a.m. in threesomes off split tees, and then everyone hopes to be done by, 2:30. We'll see how quickly they can get through that course. The stadium course, of course, the site of the Players' Championship. We'll see how the final round all plays out. One more note, by the way, before we hit our show ender, the Jacksonville Icemen clinch a playoff spot with a win tonight. So congrats to the Icemen. All right, we leave you with some of these sights and sounds. Oh, it's always so gorgeous. Well, it was the first 3 rounds. We'll see how Sunday looks at the stadium course. Appreciate you watching Action Sports Jax Primetime. We'll see you Sunday at TPC Sawgrass.
From the best local sports team in Jax, thanks for watching Action Sports Jax Primetime.